apologies for that. It's probably not a bad idea anyway for the first few rounds since we will be fairly new to it. So it would be nice to have a little like yeah, sure.
And we are live. Hello everyone and welcome to round 2 of Slipstream League Racing's Formula 2 division. It's TipsyBob here and I'll be bringing you all the thrills and spills of today's action. Joining me today in the co-commentator box is my fellow countryman Mr. Dead Pixel. Hello Dead.
Hello Tipsy. Pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is all mine. So, we're waiting for the boys to load up. They'll be doing the one-shot qualifying, but hopefully I can get this in just before they kick off. But there's been a bit of a change to the driver lineup. It should be on screen. Yeah. So there you are. I'm not, to be fair, I'm not up to speed on what the main changes are, but I know of course Thimo was taken in place for me in the ART. I don't know, Dad, do you know who else has done a few seat switching?
I'm not quite sure, to be perfectly honest. Yeah.
Well, there's been changes anyway. So that is the updated list for anyone who wants to see. Also, I have the current driver standings, which should be going up on screen. Yep. No, sorry, that's the teams. That's the current team setup as they're going after round 1. You can see that Triton have got a nice tasty lead up ahead, and also the current standings for the drivers. That's what I was looking for. So you can see Danny is currently sitting proud at the top, followed closely by Push and Nickelodeus. So that is the housekeeping done. Let's get down to the action now. They're running on with the qualifying here, and it's only a one-shot qualifying. Now, I informed anybody who wasn't familiar with the Formula 2 system. I explained it in the first round with Chief, but the game was a little bit laggy, and I'm not sure we had much people watching. So, if I can run down just quickly the concept of Formula 2 just before qualifying. So, Formula 2 uses many of the same rules and regulations as Formula 1, but there are some important and significant differences to be aware of. So the first difference is the race format. A Formula 1 race has one long race, whereas Formula 2 is split into 2 separate races. So you have one longer race, usually known as a feature race, and then a shorter sprint race. Both races are award points based on where you finish. And points are also awarded for pole position, 4 points for pole position and 2 points for the fastest lap. You get the finishes quickly. So the grid order for the sprint race is determined by the driver's finishing position in the feature race. However, the first 8 drivers get their positions reversed. So basically, we can see the current standings as it is. Light Cruiser P1, Vinny P2. So if the race was to finish like this, it would mean that Light Cruiser would be then starting the sprint race in P8 and Vinny in P7. But likewise, Popo will be starting in first, Slashy in second. So that is the basic quick rundown of the whole Formula 2 concept. So it's Baku, and we've had quite a bit of action in Baku recently in the tier 1 and tier 2 races. Usually the incidents are occurring in turn 1 and the castle section. I've done a little bit of running on these Formula 2 cars, and I have to say they're absolutely mega fun. But the handling model is, of course, a little bit different than the regular Formula 1. Understeers a little bit more, the braking points are a bit earlier. So I reckon, Dad, that we should be in for some incidents. I reckon the castle section is where we are going to see it. What's your thoughts on that?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Well, you can never really rule out castle section in Baku, can you? Like, it's so easy to mess it up. Like, even if you're going conservative, one little mistake can put you in the wall.
So I don't think we get a formation lap, so I think they are off already. There's no messing about. Oh, Vinny, I think, gets a good launch off the line. Is that? No, it's Light Cruiser, sorry. Running 1-2 them boys in the team.
We got a already.
Oh, we got a big incident back of the screen, but I'm going to stick with the front runners just at the moment.
Yeah, we did say turn 1.
Yeah, turn 1. That's right. So at least that makes
not take long.
Yeah, that makes it look like we know what we're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, you would get that impression, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Smeltino passing Pretorius there. That was a nice overtake. Just turn 3.
So I'll run down the order. Everyone's pretty much got off. Oh, I'm going to get the telemetry before I have people going nuts at me. Telemetry, there we go. And there's the position changes. OceanChief's up 5 places already, as is Wimpy, 4 places, and Push. So they've got a fantastic start already, and we haven't even finished the first lap. Vinny's the loser there, lost out to P2 to Adam. So what else? I wonder why it's not showing the telemetry for me. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not showing for me either. An interesting start to the race, bit of position changing. I think Slashy and Shu had a lot to do with that. So.
Yeah, I wasn't actually sure what happened at the back. I just seen a bit of carnage. So maybe if we can... Yeah, did you get...
I didn't quite catch it. It looked like it was just a case of 3 into 1 in a corner that doesn't really fit.
Yeah.
So a fairly simple incident, but that was that.
So we're running on Barbara Pretorius here. He's trying to get the move done on Smeltino, who I think is actually a new recruit to the Formula 2, although I have seen him, of course, in the other divisions. So how's this going to work out?
Yeah, hopefully Smeltino can have a bit of a better account of himself than the last time he raced in SLR.
Yes,
I would know about that.
Yeah, I think actually, just as you say that, it's kind of just sparking my memory there. I think he actually got removed for some of his driving. But I mean, it's good to see him back. It's showing that, once you're gone, it doesn't mean you're gone forever. The SLR boys are we are very welcoming and very forgiving if people can show that they're making a conscious effort to improve, to tidy up the driving. And here you go. Here's Smeltino's chance to basically do the Danny Kvyat of Formula 2 and have another go.
Yeah, because the thing about him is he's actually a really good driver, just his temper really lets him down.
Yeah.
Like, that's, so far as I could work out, that was kind of the root of all his incidents that got him removed from the league. So if you can just kind of work on that, which he appears to be, he'll be in a much better place, because he does have the pace.
Yeah, well, see, another guy who would be like that would be Jeremy, running in P12 at the moment. So I've said before, Jeremy's actually a very good racer, and in some tracks he's really, really quick. But the same thing that he has suffered from is just his temperament, the lack of impatience, or maybe if there's one little mistake like this there, he skimmed the wall, that would start grating on him, and then he was starting. Oh, we've got Popo, also known as Kevin Magnussen, has lost it at that corner. Now that's not normally somewhere I would see someone spin. Of course, the Formula 2 division. The cars. Oh, we've lost Thimo. Oh wait, no, Thimo wasn't racing.
I don't think Thimo actually got into the race on time. Because it did die on him, and he tried to join back, but I guess he got in too late, so that's unfortunate. But he might be able to join for the sprint race.
Oh,
so it's not all over yet.
Wimpy is coming into the pits in lap 3 already on the super soft, so I am wondering, has Wimpy got a damaged front wing? Just going to run on board with him quickly here to see if we can...
Yeah, he has a lot of damage on the left side.
Yeah, so that's going to put him pretty much to the back. Further up the field, we've got Pretorius on the back of Adam. Oh, Vinny, we just missed that. Sorry, Vinny obviously has got that position back off Adam and moved back up to second place. Now, we've seen in the first race with Rubens or Light Cruiser is pretty handy with these Formula 2 cars. He was actually going to win the first race if it wasn't for his connection issues.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate.
But even with the connection issues, his car still finished pretty high up in the points. And then, of course, whenever Rubens did rejoin for the sprint race, he then went ahead and won it. So if Light Cruiser can keep his connection all together, he should do well in this race. We got a yellow in sector 2. Have you any idea what that is, Pixel?
I'm having a look. I don't see anything obvious, so whatever it is, it passed pretty quick.
So I think
I did see Smaltino got really out of shape coming out of the castle section, so Poosh is right on him.
Yeah, Poosh is currently sitting P2 in the drivers' standings at the moment. But we've got Pretorius here, and he's making a move on Adam. He's going to go to the inside. Adam, surprisingly, doesn't try to defend that. So it's going to be a pretty straightforward pass for Pretorius, but Adam may have another little look. Oh yes, Adam's going for down the inside. Pretorius runs a little bit too deep on him, misses his braking point, and Adam just gets that position back. So Pretorius,
it's so easily done in Baku. It's really easy to overrun it on the brakes. It happens so often.
Well, I think it's even easier to do it on the Formula 2 cars because these boys will have just come off the back of a Tier 2 race in Baku just yesterday. If anyone missed that, you can check it out on the EGL channel. It's there for everyone to view. So they're just fresh out of that race, and so they're kind of maybe it's hardwired into their mind where the break points are. So maybe a slight lapse in concentration for maybe Pretorius. I don't know, could be, but it is easy to miss the braking point on these Formula 2 cars because you do have to brake a little bit earlier. We got yellows in sector 1.
Don't see where that is again. So maybe just a tap on the wall or something.
So Wimpy's right on the back of Jeremy here. I wonder was an issue with Jeremy. Wimpy's on the mediums. So this may actually work out pretty nicely for Wimpy because he did have to pit much earlier than he would have liked. But in a roundabout way, it actually might work out okay for him. Although in saying that, no, hold on, I'm just checking. Jesse's 20 seconds behind P9, and then Wimpy's even further. Yeah.
That said, the pit stops in Formula 2 are much longer than Formula 1 because they're limited with mechanics. I'm not entirely sure how long the pit stops are, but the pit time is very different than in Formula 1.
Yeah, I think I before my first Formula 2 race, I actually called into the pits to check, and it's about a 6-second pit stop. It was averaging around about that for me. Of course, I've only done a little bit of running. These guys have done much more running in Formula 2 than I have, but I think that's kind of seems roughly where it is, about a 6-second pit stop.
Yeah, I just had a look at Vinny, who was in the pits there, and 6 seconds is probably about right. I imagine.
Popo gets himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. When you add to the length of the time of the pits, as we're talking about already, 6 seconds, add to that another 5 seconds. That is going to hurt him bad.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Pretorius is really on the back of Adam here. Adam's not been able to get away. He was able to get that, cutback done on it. Oh, Pretorius nearly hits the wall. So this is the closest. Yeah, sorry, Ted, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like people are having a lot of respect for the castle today. There's not really many incidents that happened there so far, so that's good to see.
I'm wondering, would that be a kind of like a psychological effect of the cars being slower? And I seen a bit of front wing flying off Adam's car there.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But yeah, I wonder, is it because the cars are slower and they're not as there's not as much downforce on them? Is that kind of having a psychological effect on the guys where they're being more cautious into the corners?
It could well be. I think also a part of it might be the fact that they're shorter, narrower cars, so they're a bit more agile in the slow stuff, so you can get it turned that much more. So that might have a role to play in it. But either way, thankfully, no one's really binning it there so far, so that's fingers crossed. People will continue to get through there fine.
Light Cruisers into the pits. This is, I think he got up to about between a 6 and an 8 second lead before he came into the pits.
Yeah, I saw it got to 8 at the very least anyway. It might have been bigger than that by the time he actually pitted. But it's out in a good position.
So he gets in front of Shu. So, let me see the time. 6. Yeah, so he should come out comfortably whenever these boys come in for their pits. He should come out in P1. Although at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he does come out in P2 in behind Pretorius, depending on how good a lap Pretorius gets.
I'd say that the gap is probably a bit too big and is not really come out in traffic, so he's kind of free to run at his own pace. So I imagine he should still have a comfortable lead once Pretorius pits.
So Jesse's putting the pressure on Smeltino with much older, well, not much older, but 2 lap older super softs. So maybe this Formula 2 is not suiting Smeltino at the moment. Oh, just as soon as I said that, commentator's curse. Smeltino just gotta. Oh, he needs to stop going there. What's he doing? Yeah, I was just about to say that. He's gonna get disqualified if he drives in the wrong way. It happened to me in China. I mentioned about it yesterday's Tier 2. I mean, I think that's just more or less inexperience. By doing that, he drove quite a long distance there in the wrong way, and this game is not unforgiving. If you do that, it slaps you with the big DSQ. So we have down to one driver, or we lost one driver already. Go ahead, Dad.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. I think just an honest mistake. I don't think he meant to do any harm there. Just unfortunate.
Yeah, I think he was actually trying to get to the wider part of the corner. What it looked like to me, that would have been the logical, how I see it. He must have been trying to get to that wide section so he could turn the car safely. But I don't know. When you think about it, though, that would have been a difficult place to turn that car. I mean, he would have had to practice his 3-point turn.
Yeah, he would have had to do an Austin Powers. So
yeah, get out and lift it and turn it around.
Pretty much, yeah. That's really unfortunate because he did look like he had pace, although he had a good start and a good quality, but he kind of fell back a bit. It looked like he was struggling on the traction a bit out of the corners, so that's really unfortunate for him.
I was going to say yesterday that I don't believe in the spectators' curse, but I mean, I think I'm glad I didn't say that because you couldn't have timed that better. As soon as I said Smeltino seems to be struggling a little bit, he ends up putting it in the wall, so maybe there's some truth to this commentator's curse.
Yeah, an ironic sense of timing, I guess you could say. That's really unfortunate, but live and learn.
So Adam is pushing Push, excuse the, mind the pun, but he's right on the back of Push here and keeping him honest. with a 1 lap older mediums, so it's really there's not too much difference in the in 1 lap grip. Oh my goodness! Oh, I thought he was going to run into the back of him.
Oh, that's really close.
Yeah, I think that's about as close as you want to get these cars.
Yeah,
I'm not sure whether these Formula 2 cars suffer from dirty air. I don't know if you any experience of that, Pixel.
I don't really have enough experience to say, but judging by how much simpler they are and how much less downforce they have, I kind of imagine that they probably have a lot less than the Formula 1 cars. It's definitely an issue with the F1, but I'd hazard a guess to say it's not as much of an issue with these.
So just getting a bit of info there from my trusty sidekick here, Kitty. She's informing me that I think actually what happened to Thimo was no one invited him. He was waiting on his invite and he didn't get the invite.
Yeah, he messaged me to say could he get an invite because he got forgotten, which is really unfortunate. So Thimo was the fat kid, but so I invited him, but then it died. So I invited him again, and I think by that time it was just too late, so he couldn't actually get into the race itself.
That's unfortunate. Thimo will be pretty annoyed at that, but I mean, I think he should be able to join for the sprint race. I'm not sure how that would work out.
Yeah, I think he should do. Obviously, he won't get any points for the feature race. And he'll start at the back for the sprint race, but he should still be able to join, I would say. It's really a shame he didn't get in for the feature race because he had decent pace in Bahrain
last
week. So, that's really unfortunate, but you know, plenty of time to gain it back because we have 2 races every weekend.
So I'm not sure. My chat's not actually working on my phone, so I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to watch the chat, but I don't think Thimo wants invited now. So if anyone can find that out, you can let me know.
Yeah, Thimo's after.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thimo's after saying in chat, not their fault. Pixel invited me twice, but I couldn't take the car then. So that's really unfortunate.
So, meanwhile, on track, Jeremy's still running out there on the. Am I running with Jeremy? Yeah, I am. On the Super Soft, so he's the last of the Super Soft runners.
Yeah, that could really have been a bad decision, I think, because you only get 2 sets of each tire for the weekend. So he's probably burned both his sets of Super Soft, so we'll have to run mediums for the sprint race.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
You're way ahead of me, Pixel.
Great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike, that's right. So it is surprisingly. Oh, we've got a bit of action here. What's going on here?
Pop one slash.
Yeah, it says they switched positions, but they're nowhere near each other.
The slash is running really
slow. So we have lost another driver. That was in the guise of Mr. Slashy LP. That looks like a disconnect.
Yeah, it maybe not, because it looked like he was going really slow, so he might have had an incident. But I can see now it's just after coming up on Steam, he's launched the game again, so it might actually have been a disconnect. That's really unfortunate.
Well, he should be able to join back again.
Yeah, and hopefully he won't have what Light Cruiser had last week, not being able to take control of his car again.
Yes, that's right. But yeah, I was just saying there, I am pleasantly surprised how cleanly this race is so far. I mean, the only driver we have lost through a kind of like an incident or a crash is Smeltino, which effectively was self-inflicted. So very clean driving so far. This is really good to see.
Yeah, it's really good to see. And even with the Smeltino incident, I don't think it was anything bad, just kind of misreading the situation and just a bit of unfortunate luck. Because the game is really unforgiving, and that kind of leaves you in a tight spot when you get pointed around the wrong way, because what can you do, especially on a street circuit?
Adam has got the move done on Push, but Push is pushing and he wants his position back, so he is fighting hard. He's going to go down the outside. Oh, he's going to make it. He's going to make it stick going on the outside. Oh, don't hit the wall. That is, oh my goodness, that is not something I would want to try in the Formula 2 cars unless I am experienced in it, because as I said, a different handling model, brakes are all different, the steering is all very different. So Push obviously knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's actually quite fast in these cars. Like you said earlier, he got second in both races in Bahrain. So he obviously has the pace. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to try that. Like these cars, as well as having longer braking distances, I find the brakes are a lot more sensitive and much easier to make mistakes with. So I wouldn't push it that deep in a braking zone myself now.
We had a flash of a yellow in the sectors 1 and 2. I don't see anything showing up on the deltas, so maybe just someone had a little bit of a spin or something.
Yeah, I don't see anything obvious now.
Ooh, who was that?
Jesse and Wimpy really close.
Oh, so they are, man.
No,
Well done. Good shout.
Yeah.
So here we are. So Jesse's right on the back of Wimpy here, into the castle section. Wimpy's pretty experienced now in Baku. He's done quite a lot of races so far in it. So Jesse will. Jesse's had a. Oh my goodness! Oh, I was just about to say again. Jesse died there in the Tier 2 race. As Wimpy smacks the wall, I see front wing flying. So, and he hits the wall again. That, oh my goodness, that is surely gonna destroy his front wing. I would not be surprised to see him. Oh yeah, look, you can almost see the. You can see how quickly Jesse's able to catch on the back of him.
Yeah.
Now Jesse's just hang on, Jesse. Wait for the move.
Yeah,
Wimpy's struggling. There you are.
Yeah. Now that if Wimpy's underpants aren't brown, the man has serious self-control.
Well,
that was a hairy moment.
We know Wimpy is a tough cookie, and I don't think that would have spooked him. I think it just probably annoyed him more than anything that he made that error.
I would say so.
So we've got the Push, run back on board with Push, who's within the D. Oh, he clips the wall again. We're seeing this quite a lot. Again, I'm not surprised to see boys running into the walls, because for slower cars, they can be pretty tricky wee machines to handle them.
Yeah, they're not the easiest cars to drive.
Yeah, but anyone who is watching this and hasn't give the Formula 2 cars a wee spin out or a run out, really recommend you should have a go on them, because it is a lot of fun, these wee cars. And if you get feeling confident, you might even get a seat in the in this very race that we're streaming at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and one of the things that really I find quite interesting about the Formula 2 cars, they tried to mirror how it is in real life with the balance of difficulty. Because if you asked Formula 1 drivers, they will actually say F2 is harder to drive because it's more lively. You don't have and all that, so they're really lively, and it's really fun to drive.
So lap 12 of 15. Coming to the later stages of this race, and it is looking very comfortable for our P1 sitter at the moment, Mr. Light Cruiser, who, I mean, we already seen what he was able to do in Bahrain, as Popo gets another time penalty. So that is what, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds.
Yeah, I think 8.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Shoes in the wall.
Oh no, where is
Turn 2. Oh, and again, yeah, massive front wing damage.
Oh, don't drive the wrong way, Stu.
No. Oh, just
Can he
getting
get this?
away with it.
Can he get this? Oh, I can hear a car. Oh my goodness. Did he get the car turned? He does get the car turned in time for Jesse, so Shu is going to have to pit for a front wing.
Yeah, not going very well for Shu, and he got caught up in that first lap incident as well, the first corner incident. So I'd hazard a guess as to say he's not very experienced with these cars, because he's a fast driver with the Formula 1.
So what have we got on at the moment? Running back on board with Jesse. This should be a pretty straightforward move for Jesse, considering the amount of damage his shoe has taken in that spin. Of course, as it stands, Slashy will be... Oh, shoe's hitting the wall again. Yeah, he's really struggling with his front wing damage. Look at that! Look at this, the speed that Jesse's able to catch up on shoe.
Yeah, it's quite wild. The amount of difference in grip they have.
Yeah, so Slashy's sitting nicely. It's a bit of a bizarre thing to say that whenever you see him sitting down in P8. But, as I was pointing out earlier on, Jesse must have front wing damage as well. I don't know if you've seen that, but he is really struggling.
He's missing an end plate already and is after knocking the other one off, so he might have neutered his chances of getting past shoe here.
Oh, he's actually got the move done, but they're both staying out. I suppose that makes you don't have much choice.
Yeah, at this point there's no point.
Oh, shoot is off. I was getting sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If you heard another voice there, that would happen to be Mrs. Kitsune distracting me on the live stream. Thank you. What happened there? So I missed that. Shu, I seen him off track. He must have missed his breaking point. Yeah. So Slashy, as I was saying there, you probably wouldn't think a bit bizarre saying, "Oh, you're sitting nicely in P8," but as I pointed out earlier, he will be starting P1 in the sprint race, which is a nice. It's a nice little mix-up. It's how it kind of mixes everything up and puts these fast boys further back to make them work for their win. It's a nice format. I do like that.
I do quite like that.
Shu has accepted defeat and he has thrown in the towel, and we'll have another go in the sprint race.
I just wanted to mention with Slash, he was one of the cars caught up in the first corner incident, and he had damage and was down in last. So it's a really good drive for him to get back to 8th, and it's really going to reap the reward with the reverse grid. So he might well be able to do something in the sprint race. It'll be interesting to see what he can do.
Running up front here with Light Cruiser, who has pretty much dominated this whole session so far with the pole position, and he's led from the front, and he just keeps extending that lead. So he is the one to beat at the moment. Of course, we don't have Danny racing. He is our current P1 in the standings at the moment, but he's going to lose that out to Light Cruiser. But Light Cruiser is definitely the boy to beat in the Formula 2 division so far.
Yeah. As you said, he would have won the feature race in Bahrain without connection issues, but he did win the sprint race, and he took the pole on both fastest laps.
Mm-hmm.
So he effectively had the clean sweep in Bahrain only for those technical issues. So, looking for redemption here, and it's certainly going well so far.
I have been passed a note, and it says apparently we have Mr. NJNJ is requesting an invite, so if anyone has him, can I send him a little invite? As I'm going to run on board with... Oh, Pretorius is actually on the closed up, so I'm going to stick with this little battle for the final race. Or sorry, for the final lap. Pretorius has closed the gap with 2 lap fresher mediums on Vinny. So we might get a little bit of action because it hasn't been that eventful a race so far. This might be the first little snippet of action that we're going to see here. Oh, he's really closing that gap big time. He was 0.9 of a second. We lost Jeremy. But I'm going to stick on with Pretorius here as he is turning up the wick on Vinny. I can't see the telemetry, sadly.
Yeah, not working for me either, unfortunately.
Vinny must have some form of damage because it went from 1 second to 3/10 of a second. He's really pushing him. Yeah. So I think this is only... Yeah, in
about a lap it's come down nearly 2 seconds.
Yeah, so Vinny must have got a bit of some kind of front wing damage. Let me see if I can see any. Can't really see there.
Yeah, there's. He's missing an end plate. Yeah. The front left end plate is gone, and I was riding on board with Wimpy there, and it looked like I didn't see Jeremy's car, but when Wimpy passed Jeremy, it was that castle section, so maybe we did have a victim there after all.
So this will be it. I don't really see what Vinny can do to hold off Pretorius here, because this is going to be a bit cruel for Vinny, who has lost his P2 position, fought it back off Adam, and he's got P2 this whole way, and he's going to lose it potentially here on this final main straight. DRS is open.
There's a bit of a cap though. He might just keep it.
He might just keep it, you know.
He actually does. Pretorius must be running a lot more downforce. Because he really didn't
I'm really
find
surprised
anything on the
about
straight.
that.
Yeah. That's actually really surprising.
Adam put up quite a good fight there when he comes in on P4. And it's just good to see Adam finish, because he's had a few DNFs in the past through a number of issues, but it's nice to see him finishing the race in P4 with Push P5, OceanChief P6, Popo with his 8 seconds. Still finishes ahead, he should, yeah, finishes ahead of Slashy.
Yeah. So, Slashy should theoretically have the sprint race pole.
Yep.
Above 1 second.
So we're going to have Light Cruiser, Vinny and Pretorius and Adam at the back fighting each other for position, then also fighting the front boys of Push, Chief, Popo and Slashy. So this might get a bit tasty for this turn 1.
Yep.
So there you are. Congratulations to Ruben's Light Cruiser. It was a pretty much slam dunk for him from the pole, led from the race and dominated the whole 15 laps, so well done to Light Cruiser. But it's not over yet. I didn't see who got the fastest lap.
I didn't see either, but with the gap, I would guess it's probably Light Cruiser.
Have we look here? Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. It's Light Cruiser. With a 1 minute 53.6. So that's maximum points for him. 27 points. 27 points. Oh wait, that's right. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry. He gets he will get 4 points for pole position and 2 points for the fastest lap. So that's 20. I don't know if the fastest lap points is added into that. Yeah, it would be
27 plus 4 is 31. So that is a huge points haul.
Yeah,
and we still have another race.
So what would you say that would be? 31 point haul. Where do I have the standings there? Yeah, 9. If I could just see where that would put him. Sorry, that's the wrong one. It should be this one. Yeah, so I can make it 21. Oh yeah, he's P1 already. So Light Cruiser has moved up to P1 already with that first race win and fastest lap. So this sprint race, he will just be looking to capitalise as much points, or sorry, to accumulate as much points as he can to strengthen that lead moving into next week's race. So that was 15 laps. I think it's the sprint race is half of that, isn't it?
I'm not sure exactly. It's probably somewhere between 6 and 10, I would guess, but I'm not sure on the exact number of laps. But it's quite a bit shorter than the future race.
Yeah. Well, here we go. No formation lap, so this is gonna be quick fired. So the lights are out and off they go. Who gets that? Someone's getting. Oh, there's been a fantastic launch off the line by Pretorius. Engine just left the city. We got a crash in the background. Who is that? Oh, it's Vinny. Vinny spun.
And Vinny's race probably over just as it began, and he's cooked the rear tires as well.
So Light Cruiser is up to P9. Well, he's actually lost out, and then he's back up to P9. And run on board with Pretorius. Oh, we got a car run on straight. Adam locked up and missed his braking point. So Adam's going to prop pretty much to the back. Further up. This is playing nicely into the hands of Pretorius, who is marching up these positions.
In third already. That's really impressive. And just to mention, it was actually OceanChief.
Oh, it was OceanChief. Sorry, yeah, I just noticed that myself.
Yeah,
Sorry.
which is a real wasted opportunity because he was a third on the reverse grid. So that's really unfortunate. Smeltino is up 5 positions already. Obviously, got disqualified in the feature race. We started from stone dead last, and he's already up to 8th. So
that's right.
Good start for him.
And also note that Wimpy and Jeremy are on the Super Softs. But we have a real train of cars here at the moment.
That's really close.
Looks like Jesse, Jesse wants a lift there. Like the old times used to do. I remember used to hang on to the buses years ago. Whenever I was kids, we used to do that.
That's before my time now.
Yes, I'm showing my age there. Sorry. But who is that behind him? Yeah, that's Jesse's right on the back of Adam here. Jesse's looking really racy.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit of a lag spike there. Screen freeze.
Yeah. No damage, I don't think. So that's fortunate, but.
Not the best camera angle. Oh, as Jesse hits the wall. Oh, and Adam hits the wall as well!
Yeah, Adam just ran too deep on the brakes, and Shu actually got into the back.
And Shu got collected in that wreckage from. Oh, and Jesse puts it up the inside of Adam, and he spins him. And it's not somewhere you want to do that. We've seen that happening in the Tier 2 races. It is not a good place to overtake, as we have just seen.
Yeah, a bit of impatience coming through there, because you have the long straight, and then the brake.
And the DRS as well, although DRS is not activated at the moment.
Yeah, and Shu's actually gained from it. Now, he's obviously got the damage, but he's also picked up the position, so whether he can keep it or not remains to be seen. Light cruiser up to 5th.
Oh, we got another incident! Sorry, who was that? That was Wimpy getting spun.
And he has damage as well. Yeah, he's going really slowly.
So Wimpy, I think, is thrown in the towel, and maybe with a bit of frustration with that one. Somebody went up his inside there and just collected him.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Wimpy actually on the super soft tire as well, so that would have.
Yeah, he would have had a chance to come through. So that's really quite a shame for him.
I'm being told off here by Kitsune saying stop interrupting Dead Pixel, but I apologize if I am interrupting you, Dead, but whenever the action happens, I have to call it. That's the difference between me and Kitsune. That's the reason why I'm streaming and she isn't.
Bit of shade there. Also worth mentioning that this is our first time co-commentating, so Pretorius going for the pass on Popo second.
And Popo is hanging on.
Yeah.
But Pretorius gets the move done.
Yeah, it was a nice move.
Vinny with the fastest lap. And Jeremy on the back of Push here. So DRS should be activated. So we may see a little. I don't think he's going to be close enough.
No, I don't think so. That said, he does have the super soft tires, but probably making the smarter decision there, not going for it.
Ooh, Popo is right on the back on the gearbox of Pretorius.
Yeah, he definitely wants that back anyway. Not handing it to him free of charge.
He's not just going to give it away. Yep. Popo wasn't showing much pace unless he had maybe some kind of damage he was running with, but in this sprint race he is looking really tasty.
Yeah, well, it's also the psychological advantage of it, because he would have been second on the grid because of the feature race. So you think, yeah, I've had a bad feature race, but I have a real opportunity here, so it kind of energizes you to really push. So might play a part in it.
So the big winner here is Slashy, who is in P1 with a Well, it's a reasonably decent gap out of the DRS range of Pretorius. Slashy does have his moments. I have quite a lot of experience racing him, and there are some races where he is just remarkably fast. As Popo was going to think about standing it, oh, he just has to pull out of that one. He was heading straight for the wall.
Yeah, thankfully no damage. But yeah, as you say, Slash on his day is a really quick driver. He's actually extending the gap as well. It's up another half a second.
Popo's going to have another look down in Pretorius. Oh my goodness. I mean, they are worth, having a look at those moves. They are, but sometimes I'm wondering if you have got the pace on someone, just hang on. Just, hang on for the... as you can see there that his light cruiser is 1.6 seconds behind Popo, so Popo can afford to hang on till the DRS. It's different if you're being pushed behind, you have to make the move.
Flying sector 1. Don't see who that is. Oh, Shu has hit the wall again and is completely missing his wing. This has been a race to forget. Shu. Yeah, I think he needs more practice with these cars.
Baku's not the race that you want to, start your Formula 2 career on.
It definitely doesn't want to be your first foray into these cars. Anyway.
No way. Oh, Popo, where are we? Yeah, so Popo was hung on in the back of Pretorius here. The DRS. Now we did see, as we mentioned earlier, at the end of the feature race, how Pretorius was not catching Vinny, even with DRS. So we're thinking that Pretorius is running quite a lot of downforce. Yeah, you can see just near the end of the straight, Popo's really reeling him in.
Massive overspeed there. And he has the inside line as well. Pretorius is hanging on though. And he's actually got the position back. That's really impressive defense.
See, that would be the downforce playing into his hands with the turn-in. Although there's a lot of lagging here. I'm seeing he's just warping across Popo. As Popo's going to have another look down the inside. He's even closer here. This is a better opportunity. Oh, he runs him. Nice, clean, fair racing this. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And Pretorius is still hanging on, but all this battling...
Light Cruiser is right there.
Yeah. I was just going to say, all this battling now is playing into the hands of Light Cruiser. As Popo locks up and has to make an evasive action to avoid running into the back of Pretorius, and he ends up losing out that position. And he gets a 3-second time penalty just to kick him when he's down. Yeah.
I think that penalty will probably be removed because he took the shortcut to avoid putting Light Cruiser in the wall, and he did lose time for it. So I'd say the stewards would probably remove that.
Yeah, I think that would be fair.
Yeah, because he didn't gain anything from it, and he was making accommodation for the other cars. I don't think there was any malicious intent by it.
Yeah, he was making a conscious effort to avoid a collision. Oh, and he does it again!
Yeah, and he has wing damage as well. And he has to wait for all these cars.
Oh, you might see him retire.
He's still in the points. Only just... She has a bit of daylight to Jeremy. So.
I am starting to believe, Pixel, that this commentator's curse is a real thing. Because it's 3 times now it's happened.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, they look the Irish.
Oh my goodness! Did you see that on this? Oh my god! Oh my god, that is the biggest crash I've seen in Formula 2 so far. So, trying to just get in my mind what just happened there. So it looked like Light Cruiser was going for a move, trying to squeeze up the inside of... oh, we've lost Dead Pixel. I wonder, are you still there, Dead Pixel? I think we have lost Pixel. Yeah, I think he's disconnected from the whole thing, so you're just running on board with me, people. But what I think I just saw there was, it looked like Light Cruiser was trying to squeeze in on the left off the inside line, which is where you want to kind of go for that turn 1 move. And then there's just a little bit of overcorrecting for both guys, bit of wheel banging, and then it just sent Light Cruiser into the wall and shooting across the track. My goodness, I'll need to see that one again later on, maybe some POVs, but if that was real-time racing, I mean, that would have been red flag race. That was a humongous accident. But Light Cruiser's definitely going to have to call into the pits here. He's absolutely no front wing at the moment, as it stands. He will be suffering catastrophic understeer. Oh, he actually throws in the towel. We're starting to see a little bit of lagging. I don't know if anyone else is getting that. Oh, Jeremy, who was that? That was Smeltino. Almost lost it again as he did in the feature race. And Vinny is lurking behind him. Vinny smells blood, or positions in this case. Oh, Smeltino has got a good move on Jesse. Gets the move done before the DRS zone. But then Vinny is also pushing on Smeltino. And Vinny is going to get 2 places in one move, pretty much. Although Smeltino is hanging on there. Oh, Smeltino actually got a good better run off the line. He had to back out of it. Let's see how he navigates this corner. So he will get the DRS. So Vinny taking the inside line to defend. Oh, he moves back across to the outside. He mustn't be thinking Smeltino doesn't go for a dive, and he is correct. Smeltino backs out of that one. My goodness, so we've lost the P1 sitter at the moment, but even in the 11th with a DNF with no points, I still think he's actually going to finish in first place, as Jesse kind of hits a wall there and loses a bit of end plate. This is the battle at the moment between Vinny, Smeltino and Jesse, although I'm expecting to see Jesse drop back there because he has got front wing damage. So Smeltino will want to try and hang on to the back of Vinny here for dear life to keep within that 1 second range. Of course, anyone who is new may not know that if a car can stay within 1 second of the car in front, then they get the DRS, which is the drag reduction system. They can activate that on their steering wheel, flips open the rear spoiler, which then lets the aerodynamic wind run straight through the wing and maximise straight line speed. But Vinny is just taking off at the moment, so. But Smeltino is still within the 1 second, so you should see him starting to close up this gap by the end of this main straight. But he's too far back to go for a move. Oh, and Smeltino misses his braking point, and this might play into the hands of Jesse. No, Jesse's too far back. And that will relieve the pressure off Vinny. So this is working out nicely for our current run P1 sitter at the moment, Slashy. As we were saying there earlier, or as I was saying, I've done a lot of races with Slashy, and there are some races where he's just untouchable. Just the speed that man can generate in some tracks. But he seems to be a kind of a temperamental driver in the sense of it just how he feels. If he's not feeling it, he will not be on it. But when he's in the zone and he's feeling racy, he's able to do things like this here, where he gets the P1 and is taking off. 4.5 second gap to Pretorius with only, what's that, 2.5 laps to go. It's looking good for Slashy. Running down the order here, these gap. Oh, we got a yellow in sector 2. Forgive me if I scroll through these cameras. I don't see nothing on the stream. Everyone seems to be keeping the cars under control. It suddenly feels all very lonely whenever you're sitting in this commentary box all alone. I have no one to talk to. Although, as I'm sure Kitty would clearly point out, that I generally don't need anyone to talk to. I can just talk to myself. I enjoy my own company. My job that I have is a very lonely job. Kind of used to talking to myself, so this is the perfect position for me to be in right now. Sitting on my own with a little microphone, talking to myself. So, not a lot of action to comment on at the moment. These gaps are quite significant, really. So I think this should put Pretorius nicely up in the standings with this P2. It's also going to help. Well, it'll help everyone. Oh, we have a yellow in Sector 2. That seems to be where everyone's struggling. Although that would be the castle section, so that would not be any surprise. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, and Chief locks up. That's a couple of times Chief has done that, and he needs to be careful because Jesse's coming around this corner. I wonder, is Chief suffering from any damage? I think that's at least twice we've seen Chief doing that. So Chief really having issues with the braking zones. There's another yellow. Oh, we have lost Jeremy. Jeremy has lost it in the castle section. He lost it in the previous race, we believe, and he falls victim to the notorious castle section, and he clips the wall. But don't give up, Jeremy. You've only one lap to go. Push is 41 seconds behind. Actually, Jeremy, you can actually call into the pits, man. If you're listening, you can call into the pits, get a fresh set of tires, and still finish in P8. Oh, don't do that. Don't bottle it, Jeremy. Call into the pits, Jeremy. This is your race engineer. Call into the pits. Fresh wing, fresh set of tires, and you can secure P8. Thank you. As Popo sets another fastest lap. Of course, he's on a fresh. Oh, and he almost does the same thing as where good man Jeremy is doing. Was he is listening to the voice of reason. Well done, Jeremy. So this should comfortably. Oh my goodness! Push is really not messing about. Oh, he's got no front wing either. So Jeremy or Push must have had an issue as well in the castle section. And yes, he's also coming into the pit. So yes, Jeremy, well done. You've got a fresh set of tires, a lovely new front wing. P8 secured. Just keep it between the hedges, as we say in Ireland. Keep her between the hedges, or keep her between the walls. Just gonna run on board with Chief. P6 for Chief, he'll be happy with that. Oh, and it's a P8, sorry, I'm just looking, P8, or sorry, P5 for Smeltino, who had that horrific incident in the feature race. Then got disqualified for going the wrong way, which is it's a bit cruel, because the guy was only trying to turn the car. But rules are rules. But he didn't let that affect him. He started in P8, or sorry, he didn't, he started, what's that, P12? And he's hung it on, and he's up to P5. So far we've only lost 3 drivers, Wimby, Shu and Light Cruiser. Light Cruiser suffering that catastrophic incident with, I think it's his teammate Pretorius. So hopefully that doesn't start some kind of inter-team battle. Although a bit of fighting, that's what we'd like. A bit of good old violence. So Slashy has another sector, a yellow flag in Sector 2. This is making everyone struggle in Sector 2, the castle section, which I'm not surprised. Oh, Rin has also left this session. I don't remember seeing him. Sector 1, where is these incidents? I'm trying to catch them. So I'm going to run on board with Slashy here. This is Slash will be, if he can keep it, hang on to these last few corners, this will be Slashy's first win. I think this is going to be Slashy's first win of any season so far, or of any race this season so far. He extended his gap up to 4.5 seconds, but Pretorius is slowly ate away at him to get him down to 2 seconds. So if it wasn't for the collision with Light Cruiser, and then of course being held up by a few drivers, Pretorius and Light Cruiser would have been further up. But take nothing away from Slashy, he had to do the job. He had to put his car where it mattered in the positions at the time, and he thoroughly deserves that. Great recovery drive from Pretorius, up 4 positions. A great podium for Adam. And there you have it. That is it. We're waiting on Chief coming in P6 as he will probably do a bit of weaving there, Chief, if you're listening. A little bit of weaving, but avoid the wall. Thank you. And is Chief going to give us a big crash? He is! Lovely. Thank you very much, Chief. Is Jesse going to give us one as well? No, Jesse's going to play. Oh! Jesse not messing about there, and he's going to show our leader, Mr. Chief, exactly what he thinks. Jesse, you shouldn't abuse the elderly like that. Chief is fragile as he already is. He is like a World War II veteran. The man is so old. You must respect these old boys. I'm sure Chief will be feeling that now. But there we go. Jeremy hanging on there in the P8. And he finishes up the... And he closes the race for us. Now, the question is, I still haven't got my Mr. Pixel back. So I'll just continue on here. I have to pick a driver off the day. Well, I don't know if we're doing that in the Formula 2. It's a bit difficult to pick a driver of the day because you've got 2 different races. Wonder can we pick a driver off each race? I wonder would that be fair? I'm not sure. Let me just see where they all finish. So there they are, people. There is the official finishing positions. Popo coming in P10 there, but he does secure the fastest lap with a 1 minute 53.8. It's 2/10 slower than Light Cruiser's fastest lap, who I believe he got a 1 minute 53.6 dead. So there you are, and Smeltino from up 13 places. I don't want to call a driver of the day because it's split over between two races, and I'd rather kind of do it with my co-commentator. So I think we'll leave that one, maybe decide that at a later date. I'm also not sure if we're doing interviews, but I will get the interview screen up anyway. It should be my beautiful, there we are, my beautiful space one. That is an exploding star. So what I'm going to do while we're waiting is we're going to see if we can get some interviews. Forgive me for the moment while I'm trying to work this system. See if I can get anybody. Does anybody want an interview? Anyone at all? There's no one in the chat. No one whatsoever. I don't think anybody wants to talk to me. Nobody wants to talk to me. Oh, we got Vin. I'm going to drag you in, Vin. Oh, wait. I can't. See, boys, you need to give me my rights back because I can't drag Vinny in. Chief. There he is. Chief. Welcome, Chief. Chief, I'm going to have to give me my rights back. Give me my rights back. Vinny. Welcome.
I was
How did that go?
to stream, and you sounded disappointing that you had no one to talk to, so I figured I'd come.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk to me. Like, what? I thought I was doing all right, and then I just checked the stream and it was like, no one.
Yeah,
But thank
I
you,
don't know,
Vinny. I can
man.
always rely on Vin.
I'm always here for you, my dude.
So, Vinny, how did that
So,
go for you?
not as planned. But I gotta say, a good recovery though. Good recovery.
Um, I actually missed the final standings, but
I'm gonna
yeah,
post them now, Bob.
thanks,
Cool.
Chief. I don't know if anybody did Vinny? Did you see the incident between Light Cruiser and Pretorius?
No, I didn't see anything.
My
I was too
goodness,
far back.
it looked like Light Cruiser was trying to go down the inside of Pretorius, and they kind of bit of a wheel banging, which
I
happens, and then
I had the stream on my second monitor, and I kind of like peeked over my peripheral vision, and I just saw parts flying down the straight, which was kind of odd.
yeah, he hit the outside of the pit wall, and then he went flying across track. I thought the man was going to die in the bleeding car.
Well, I see like Cruiser's already got the report in, so we'll see what happens.
Um, my mind's just suddenly gone blank in terms of what happened because I was just kind of focused. Um, I'll turn to Chief. Chief, you were having a bit of difficulty there with the braking zones. We've seen you locking up and running into the escape at least twice.
You saw nothing.
I'm pretty sure what I saw.
Okay.
I had a fun time chasing down Chief.
Yeah, that was good. I was just gonna let you pass anyway. Like, there was no point me holding you up because I knew that you could probably catch the guys ahead, whereas I would struggle. But yeah, I just went for the usual kind of tactic, the solution chief, slow and steady wins some points. Just watch the people die in front of me, like Light Cruiser died, and a few people had to pit. I think you know what had happened, Tipsy. Anybody who like did any more than one pit stop in the first race, what they were finding was that they had very limited tire selection. So, for example, Wimpy, I think he pitted 3 times in the last race. So every time you go into the pits, obviously they change the tires. So you've only got a set amount of tires. So whenever he came into the sprint race, whenever he went to the race strategy screen, it only gave him a one stop as his strategy. And he was going, why the hell is this? Because like everybody else is getting one stop, and one stop obviously is the fastest. But we worked it out that he basically didn't have the tires. Like, he'd used up all his fresh tires, so he had to do a two-stop. And there were a few guys ahead of me that obviously they must have had the same issue, or else they must have had front wing damage to get fixed or whatever.
Yeah, well, Shu had a nightmare race in both of them, having issues just basically running into the wall and wrecking his front wing. But I'll need to watch the stream back because there was an incident with a couple of cars where Wimpy got collected and Wimpy just got spun into the wall, which caused him just to basically retire from the race. So I'll be looking back in the stream to see what happened. But have you anything else you would like to talk about? Because I'm kind of running out of things to ask.
Well,
At the start, me and Pretorius, my homeboy, we got pretty good starts off, and then he went between 2 cars, and I thought I could follow him, but I was wrong. So I smacked into the back of him, and I got some wing damage, and I just spun out.
Yeah, I see. I think I did see that at the beginning. So one of you guys were going sideways, but you just managed to hold. You managed to hold on to it.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I still did a 360 and a half after that.
Oh, we have Mr. Pixel has returned. Welcome back, Mr. Pixel. Oh. No. Okay, maybe not.
He's just teasing us.
we got Pretorius here as well.
We're also joined by Mr. Pretorius. Man, what a race that was, watching you. I have quite a good bit of footage with you on the battles that you were involved in, but I think the big talking point was the battle between you and Light Cruiser down the main straight.
Yeah, well, I just took my line, went straight, and then he went on the left side of me, in the white lines that towards the pit lane, and so obviously if he continues straight, he's gonna hit into the wall. So he tried turning right even though I was there and hit my wheel, and then I got oversteer and shunted him into the wall.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I saw in terms of
Yes.
there was a bit of wheel banging and then it sent your car one way, so then you try to correct it. That's hit him again, and then it was just game over from that. But I think you had a really great race over the two races, especially the sprint race. I was really impressed by watching how you were able to, cut your way through the field and get up to, was it P2? I think you finished.
Yeah.
It was a great race from yourself.
Yeah, well, it was pretty annoying in the sprint race. I had a lot of screen freezes and kept teleporting back.
Yeah.
And yeah, every time I got away from Popo Gamer, I would get the screen freeze, he would teleport towards me again. So I had I battled with him for a few laps, but when I got away from him, I think I caught down like 3 seconds on Slash, but it wasn't enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, I actually have that on the stream where where you're having a bit of lagging or screen freezes, and then it would keep warping your car. But at one point, Popo nearly rear-ended you, and he had a kind of just avoid. He actually nearly did it twice. But it was a great race from yourself. I think we have Mr. Pixel back again. Are you back, Mr. Pixel?
Yeah, I'm not dead again.
You're not dead Pixel anymore. You're alive Pixel.
Yeah. My ISP decided it didn't want to give me broadband for a few minutes, so that was not fun. But I'm alive again, so.
That's what you get when you don't pay your bills.
I'm not the one paying the bills, and the bills are paid. So.
I don't know if we have anyone else that wants an interview. I think that may be it. It wasn't. Yes, Vinny. Yeah.
I think if maybe Light Cruiser was in here, it'll be interesting.
Well, I don't see him at the moment. I'd like to hear what he would have to say. I don't know whether he's a bit fuming after the incident, but it just looks like a racing incident. Here he is. Here he is.
Hey.
Here he's coming. Can someone take him in? Cause
I'll bring him in. I'll bring him.
Mr. Cruiser.
Get the popcorn. Get the popcorn ready.
Right.
Hello, boys.
Mr. Cruiser.
Let me get my chair.
So it's good to have you here. We've got now Mr. Pretorius and Mr. Light Cruiser. We were just talking about the incident on the main straight where you got absolutely wrecked. I was just wondering if you could give us your take on it.
Well, I think it was a bit useless to move to the left anyway because I'm gonna get past 100% sure because the overspeed I had was enough to overtake him in T1. So it was first of all useless to shove me to the left, and I was going straight all the way, held my line. And then I think he lagged a bit, which resulted into me getting into the wall.
It was. I mean, it was quite a dramatic accident on the stream. It just looked like that there was a wee bit of wheel banging and then an overcorrection on both sides, which then ended up putting you in the wall. I mean, in hindsight, if looking back, would you have maybe done that move again, or maybe try to go through the outside instead?
Well, I was planning to go around the outside, but then there was no room on the outside, so I had to go left. And I know I can't go off the track by going off the white line.
Yeah.
Because I was already actually on the white line with 2 wheels.
But I think the points that you collected in the first race, that puts you in P1 in the standings. I think I should be able to upload the standings. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we are. So that was after on the stream now. That was after the Bahrain race, where Rubens had 21 points, but then you collected a total of 31 points in that first race. So that'll put you comfortably in P1. There should be quite a few switching around there. I'll need to obviously do the calculation, but that was on screen at the moment was the previous race. So a good points haul from Rubens. I don't know if anyone else has anything else they would like to add.
I'm not last in the standings anymore.
So what did you finish, Finney? You were P2, was it?
First race I was P2. Second race I was P4 from last.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that's pretty much about it in terms of what we're going to get in terms of info, interviews, and footage. Really, I think that's pretty much it. So, if everyone else is happy enough, I can sign off on the stream.
Yeah, I think next week we've got Spain coming up. Tomorrow we have SLR Spain Tier 1 race, and that'll be Thimo and Terror. And then we've got Sunday 2 SRL.
Oh yes.
The big one in Spain, Vance's home Grand Prix. It's going to be a tough weekend, but I'm looking forward to both races.
Well, me and Bance, we're pretty dominant at the moment in the constructors, trying to make it a back-to-back McLaren title in the 2 SRL. So we have a title to defend and a lead to stretch. Bance is really good, as we already seen from yesterday. He's good in Spain, and I like it myself. So hopefully people can tune in for the Tier 1 race with Terror and Thimo tomorrow with SLR, and the 2 SRL race on Sunday. But other than that, I would like to thank everyone at the moment on the channel or on the commentators booth with me, Pretorius and Dead Pixel, joining me and co-commentating, and Rubens and Vinny. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you've got another commentator coming in next week. Popo Gamer is going to step up to the mic.
Yes, I was just mentioning that on the stream earlier, that I think Mr. Kevin Magnussen himself, that's not really Kevin Magnussen, but
you know what we should do?
Yeah.
You know how some people have engineers in their races? You should get them on stream and have like the engineer talk they do in F1.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Popo will be joining me. Is he going to be joining me permanently, Chief?
Yeah, he's permanent for F2. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, another thing is, like, I don't know if you want to try it out for F2, but I'm open to getting in it. You know, like if you want to check in on a driver, like while they're racing, that could be interesting. You know, doing
it might be a few Kimi Räikkönen. You know, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Shut up, Jeff.
Shut up. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if it was me personally and I was driving, I would not want anyone talking in my ear asking, you know, how you getting on.
Yeah, it could be funny though. I mean, it's F2, so it's a bit more casual than the Tier 1 and Tier 2 stuff. So we can experiment. You know, if you've any ideas, feel free to try them out. You know.
Well, yeah. Well, what I would like, I've been asking for a while, is a highlights reel of the previous Formula 2 and the previous Tier 2 race. So then I can then upload that onto the starting screen, so that give the viewers kind of like a heads up in terms of what happened in the previous race. That'll set the tone for the current race.
Yeah, I think that's something we can work on going forward. But yeah, I think some of the feedback I got from your stream so far is people are enjoying the graphics you're putting on, like the standings and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, seems to be a good addition to the stream. So I think I might try and incorporate that in all the streams that we do.
Did you not get any feedback with the rabbit and the pug?
Oh, the rabbit and the pug, yeah. they went down the store, man. Yeah, bring back
good.
the pug.
Well, I'll bring them back for the next race in Tier 2.
Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks again for broadcasting, man. I appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure doing it with Mr. Dead Pixel as well. Thank you very much, Pixel.
Yeah, it was great fun. Thanks. And
I think with that, we will say au revoir and we will sign off. So tune in tune in tomorrow for the Tier 1 race, for the SLR Tier 1 race with Terror and Thimo. But until then, I will say cheerio, au revoir.